I was planning to record another video this evening, and not this one. I was planning to record a video that was showing people how to import into their MetaNet client funds that they had previously stored into a normal Bitcoin SV private key, so that we have a tool for moving people from the legacy architecture of Bitcoin, in which you just have a private key and you can import your coins and use them, which doesn't work because you're not actually tracking the UTXOs or the Merkle proofs on those UTXOs or able to prove your ability to spend them. You need to rely on blockchain scanning services to look up the address where those coins are and then get you the information you need so that you can use your coins. I was planning to make a video showing how you could move your coins from this traditional private key storage, which is old and bad and you shouldn't use it, into a SPV-based architecture where you can actually, have Merkle proofs on the input transactions that you provide people, exchange things peer-to-peer without the need for blockchain scanning and lookup services. However, as of the time of this recording, the service that I was relying on, called WhatsOnChain, which is a blockchain scanning and lookup service, has had an API outage. This video is not about that API outage, and it is not trying to say anything bad about WhatsOnChain. In fact, they're providing a critical service for BSV, and I commend them for their efforts at running a blockchain scanning service with such high volumes of transactions that are going to be happening, as well as the ones that are already happening on the network. So good on them for doing that, because if they didn't, a lot of people would be up a creek without a paddle right now. And here's a little preview of what might happen when these blockchain scanning services find themselves unable to keep up with the demand in the future. So, I'm going to put my screen up. I was working, just as me, going along, writing some code as a developer, right? Working on this thing, you put in your private key. You can steal this private key if you want, and all the money in it. All 1,100 Satoshis of mainnet BSV. And so I'm just going to copy this and show you how this tool is supposed to work. So this is KeyFunder here. And I'm going to reload this page so that we can see a little bit. So I'll go back. You got KeyFunder. You can import keys, or you can import funds into your MetaNet client, and you can send funds out of your MetaNet client. That's how KeyFunder is supposed to work, okay? So let's go ahead and import some BSV, and I want to import BSV. Eventually we're going to import BSV from all these places into the MetaNet client, but for now, we'll just go ahead and use the wallet import format private key. So paste your private key, get your UTXOs from WhatsOnChain, pick the ones you want to import, take your 0.000 whatever BSV and import them, except, oh my god, now is it going to work? Now it works. But I think if I scroll up in my network history here, there might be proof from the time it didn't work. Yeah, so here it actually worked, and this is the first time it has worked. But just a few minutes ago, when I was using this, I was unable to get the transaction hex from WhatsOnChain given the TXID, which is a crucial step in actually importing the BSV. So now I'm going to open this up in my MetaNet client, and I'll show how you can import BSV into here. Yes, I get my, my Satoshis, and I'll refresh this in there. You see them in there minus the fee, and off they went, right? Now I have my money. So I imported my BSV into my MetaNet client. But when WhatsOnChain was down, and now you have to take my word for it because I think it's back up, I posted in their Telegram channel, and I was like, hey guys, you should probably... Wait, did someone reply? It looks like someone replied. All right, good. Someone fixed it, right? So I got in contact with their support, and somebody fixed the WhatsOnChain system, and now their blockchain scanning services, which they provide as an essential service for a bridge between the old and the new of Bitcoin, the key-based thing and the SPV architecture that supports direct peer-to-peer transactions. that has been fixed. Temporarily. For now. Good. I mean, I'm glad. Now I actually have this working, because I posted in here right before I started recording this video. But there is still something to be said that in the future, maybe these systems aren't going to work. People need to move to SPV, and they need to move to SPV now. We need to move as many coins into an architecture where users track their own UTXOs. Users have Merkle proofs on input transactions. They exchange SPV-related information. Because when we do that, we don't need to rely on these scanning services and indexing systems. Because at that point, user funds are in user control. And so these scanning services and indexing systems will just be a bridge for old BSV that was stored in these private keys from the past and imported into the MetaNet SPV, the new way, peer-to-peer, holding your actual coins and your ability to spend them, not just knowing your key, but knowing what your out point is, your transaction ID and the output where you're actually spending from, being able to prove that and send that to the recipient, exchanging transactions directly in a scalable manner as defined by the original Bitcoin architecture. So this actually was a perfect example. This video worked fairly well. So yes, this is an example of what might happen in the future if these indexing systems ever go offline and we're unable to use them. If users hold transactions, including the raw hex, for the transactions they're dealing with, and if they exchange that peer-to-peer, then we don't need to rely on chain scanning and indexing systems, and we don't need to rely on, having a private key and then going and trawling through all the Bitcoin transactions on the entire chain, all millions and billions of them in the future, in order to get what we want. We have access to our own data because we got it from our peers. And when I want to send something to a peer, I can send it in such a way that that person can verify it. I recommend you watch my other videos about SPV to understand a little bit further how this is supposed to work and how the architecture of Bitcoin is supposed to scale. And for your own sake, if you have a lot of BSV especially, gosh, dear Lord, I hope, if you have hundreds of times more BSV than I do, which, be a lot of stress there with what's going on our network. I hope you're aware of what's going on our network. I recommend that you know the Merkle proof on the transactions that contain the out points with your tokens, with your coins. And I recommend you have SPV information. And I recommend you know how to use the tools of SPV to exchange directly peer-to-peer, because eventually that's going to be the only way to use Bitcoin. That's all I have to say in this one. Thank you for taking the time, and I wish you good luck in implementing SPV for a scalable version of Bitcoin properly.